Yeah, welcome back. In the last class, we have seen what is our requirement and what table that we need to create for this implementing this requirement. And we have loaded some data also into our database table by using runner. And we identified what are the classes that we need to create, what are the classes and pages that we need to create in order to develop our application. Perfect. Now, here guys, in the last session, I created a project. This is a boot application and we got the start class. Start class is entry point for our application execution and we created one entity class. What is entity? That is mapped with our database table. And I created one repository. In the repository, I'm writing some custom queries. Why we are using custom queries here? Yes, predefined methods are not sufficient in order to perform operation on our requirement. So in my requirement, I have a drop down. To that drop down, I need to get the data from the database. So in the table, records are available. In the table, the records are available. Now, in that records, I want to get the unique plan names to display in the drop down and the unique plan statuses to display the drop down. So that's why I'm writing custom queries for that. Then I created one class called data loader.java. Data loader is a runner. What is the meaning of a runner? What is the meaning of a runner? Runner will execute only once when the application is started. Guys, see here, if I write a runner like this, when I start my application, every time it will insert the record. So for that, what I will do is, in the first line, I'm going to write a method called delete all. What is the meaning of delete all? Yes, first it will delete the existing records from the table and it is going to insert the new records in the table. Suppose if you don't call this delete all, then what will happen? If you run the project for 10 times records will be inserted. Duplicate records will be inserted. So that's why I'm calling repository.delete all. Existing table data will be deleted and again the records will be inserted. Now let's go for this application, run as boot application. Now, application started. What happened? Deleted all the records and inserted the records once again. Go to the table, select star from plan info. So now see the records are available, but IDs already 24 records inserted and deleted. Now ID started from 25. So find total there are records available in the database. Now, as we discussed, when we are developing our application, what is the architecture we need to follow? So as we discussed yesterday, for every project, database will be available. So it can be a Oracle database or it can be a MySQL database. Currently, I'm using MySQL database. To communicate with the database, we are creating one repository. What is a repository? JPA provided the repositories. We are extending the properties from those repositories. That repository providing predefined methods. If the predefined methods are not satisfying our requirement, then we need to create our own methods. Either you can go for find by method or you can go for custom queries also. If you want to delete one record, to retrieve the record based on the primary key, retrieve all the records, insert the record, update the record. For that, you no need to write the method. Already predefined methods are available. I have a requirement to get only unique plan names from the table. For that, there is no predefined method. That's why I'm writing my custom method. Now, whatever the repository that I am creating, my repository is extending the properties from JPA repository. My repository extending the properties from JPA repository. JPA repository is a predefined repository in the data JPA. Our repository extending the properties from JPA repository. And we need to create one service interface. we need to create one service interface. I'm giving the name as a report service. For the report service, I'm going to create service IMPL class. So what will be there in the report service? Service will contain only abstract methods. Service will contain only abstract methods. The methods will be implemented by service IMPL. Whatever the business logic we need to write in the application, that business logic we will write in the service class. Now my service IMPL is going to implement service interface. Now service IMPL methods will be talking to our repository methods. Repository methods will be talking to our database table. Now to communicate with the service methods, here we are going to create REST controller. Here we are going to create controller. It can be a normal controller or it can be a REST controller. If you are using Angular as a UI, Angular for the UI development, then the controller will be REST controller. If you are using JSP or Timely for the presentation layer development, then we will go for normal controller. Now, in this project, we are going to use JSP as a presentation. For that, I'm using controller. In the future, controller or REST controller. In the future, REST controller. When your project is having UI with Angular or React, then our controller will become REST controller. If you are using JSP or Timely, then we will make it as a controller. Now, to communicate with the controller, we will be having UI. User interface will be available. Up to this our backend, and here we are going to develop our UI, user interface. To develop this user interface, multiple technologies are available. Currently, I'm going with the JSP. Perfect. Now, let's communicate from the UI to controller. Who will communicate with the UI? User will communicate with the UI. That person is called as client, or we can call as end user. End user is going to communicate with the UI. Are you guys clear? Now, he is called as a end user. End user will communicate with the UI, and UI will communicate with the controller. Controller will communicate with the service. Service will communicate with the repository. Repository will communicate with the database. Now here we are going to use entity class also. Along with these components in our project, entity class also will be available. What is the purpose of an entity? What is the purpose of entity? Entity is used for table mapping. Along with this, in our project, we will be having application.properties file. What is the meaning of application.properties file? Our configuration, our data source properties, and our view resolver properties we are going to configure in our project. Application and properties, that is the default file that is created in the Spring Boot. That is the default file created in the Spring Boot. So this box, whatever I have taken, that is called backend development. The UI, that is called as front-end development. For the front-end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Angular, React, or JSP, or Timely, there are several options available to develop the UI. Now, first we need to focus on our backend development. Backend database, we already identified to develop this requirement. It is just a search operation, export operation. Table should have some data. So we have identified what table we need, what columns we need. And we inserted some records also into our database table. So with this table part, we are good. Then in order to communicate with that table, we need to map our table with the entity. So entity class will be available. Entity is a Java class which is mapped with the database table. Entity is a Java class that is mapped with the database table. And my repository is using that entity. Repository is using that entity class. Why repository is using the entity class? Why repository is using entity class? Repository should understand with which table it has to communicate. And this entity class is mapped with my database table. Entity is representing the table in the database. Repository extending the properties from the JPA repository, and repository is talking to our entity. Entity is representing what is the table, what is the structure of the table, what are the columns available in the table. Repository we are creating as an interface. That repository interface extending the properties from JPA. JPA repository providing several methods to perform the CRUD operation. If you are not satisfied with those methods, you write find by method or you write the custom query. Then service layer. Service layer will contain business logic of our application. Now, entity is created in our project. As we have discussed, entity created, repository also created, data also loaded into database. Now we need to create service interface. In that interface, we need to write abstract methods. For those methods, we need to provide the implementation. Are you clear? Now, in order to write the methods in the service layer, let's see our requirement. What are the actions we need to perform in our application? First of all, for the plan name, data should come into the drop down. For the plan name, data should come into drop down. So we need to make one database call. Controller will make from the UI. Can we make the DB call directly? Is it recommended? Not recommended. Now, when my page is loading, index page is loaded, I want to load the data for the drop down. Plan name drop down, plan status drop down. So that means when my page is loading, I want to make one database call. So how we will make a database call? From the UI, it will go to controller. From controller, service. From service, repository. From the repository to the database. So first, I need to write one method in the service to get the data for the first drop down. And I need to write one method in the service to get the data for the second drop down. What about gender? Hard-coded value. In the UI, we can hard-code those values because they will not change in the future also. Plan name, plan status can change in the future. That's why I don't want to hard-code them. I want to get it from the database table. For that, I need to write one method to get the plan name drop-down data. Now, go to here. This is my application. In my application, I need to create a service package interface. Now, in.ashokit.service. Now, that is the package name. Interface name I am keeping as a report service. Right. It is just a interface. It is just a interface. I am going to write abstract methods. Now, first my method to get the plan name drop down data. So drop down data means list of values. My method should give list of values. So for that, I'm going to write public list of string get plan names. That is the method. Import the list object. Public list of string get plan names. I got the list of plan names. Now, after this, I have another drop down. Plan status. For that, we need to get the data from the database. To get the data from the database, I need to write one more method. Now for this, I'm going to write public list of string get plan statuses. Public list of plan statuses. What is the purpose of this method? It has to get the data from the table to display data in the drop down. Now, so for this plan name, I have a method. For plan status, I have a method. Then I need to go for search functionality. User will click on the search button. When user click on the search button, user may select filters, may not select filters. That is user choice. It is not mandatory. It is a dynamic search operation. User may select filter, user may not select filter. If a user select filter, based on the selected filter, I need to get the response. If a user not selected any filter, I need to get all the records. Now here, in order to get the results from the database, first I need to get the search criteria. What fields user has selected? User selected plan name. Then based on the plan name, I need to retrieve the data. User selected plan status. Based on the plan status, I need to retrieve the data. User selected only gender. Based on the gender, I need to get the data. So first we need to understand what filters are selected by user. Able to follow me? Now here, in order to capture that search criteria, I'm going to create one class with a name called search request.java. What is the purpose of search request.java? Form binding. Whatever the search filters user select, the search filters will come into my Java class. For that, let me create one class with a name called search request, new class. I will keep this in the request package in .ashokid.request. Let me take this class as a search request. Some people will keep it as search DTO, search command, search request. You can use any name for that. In this class, what fields I need to take? What are the variables I need to take? Plan name, plan status, gender, start date, end date. What data is coming from the UI? Which data is coming from the UI? To represent that data in the object, I need to take the variables. Plan name can come from the search form, public string, plan name. Plan status can come from the UI. I will take it as plan status. Gender can come from the UI. I'm taking as gender. And the date can come. I am taking as local date, that is start date. End date also can come. I'm taking local date, end date. So this is my request class and I am writing @data. Right. So what is the purpose of search request class, guys? Form binding. That means whenever you select any drop down data or you select the dates, when you click on the search, whatever you select in the search from, that data will store into search object. Okay. Now let us go for the service. In the service, I want to write a method to handle search button. So what is the meaning of search button? Based on the selected value, retrieve the data. Now here I'm going to write a method. I will write a method public list of citizen entity object. Citizen plan, I'm going for search. For this, I'm taking search request as a parameter. Method is having a parameter, method is having a return type. This is most important part in the development. What method we need to write, what parameter we need to take, what return type we need to take. I want to search some data. I want to get the data from the database based on my search criteria. What search criteria will come from the UI? That criteria I am taking in one object format. With that criteria, I will find some records in the database. Those records I am returning as list of records. More than one record can come. I want to represent that as a collection. That's why I'm going for list of citizen plan. When you click search, search criteria will come to my service layer method. Service layer method will talk to repository method. Repository method will talk to database, get the data and give the data in the form of list of objects. Okay, with this I'm able to identify three methods, guys. Method to get the plan name, method to get the plan status, method to handle search functionality. Now here I'm having two more controls. One is Excel, another one is PDF. Here I'm going to write another method, public void export Excel. What is the meaning of export Excel? What is the meaning of export Excel? It is going to send the report to the email. Whether report is sent or not, I will represent that as a boolean. Okay. If the report is sent to your email successfully, then I am saying true. If it is true, then I will display success message here. Your report sent successfully. Your report sent successfully. I will represent that. Now, similarly, I need one more method to send a PDF report. Export to PDF. Export Excel and export PDF. I'm taking one method. Why I am taking boolean? Why not integer? Why not list? What is my requirement? What is my requirement here, guys? Whenever I click on the Excel file, whenever I click on the Excel hyperlink, it has to generate the Excel file, send that Excel file as an attachment to the email. If it is sent successfully, I need to display success message. Report sent to your email. Got it? I want to display success message or failure message. To display success message or failure message, I need to understand mail is sent or not sent. Boolean means true or false. If it is true, that means my mail is sent. I need to display success message. Boolean means false means mail is not sent. I will display error message. Right. So these are the methods we need to write in the service layer. How many of you not able to write it? Yesterday I have told you, I asked you to write just abstract methods in the interface. I have given this information also yesterday. To develop this project, we need to write these 5 methods in the service layer. How many of you able to write the methods? How many of you not able to write the methods? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you are not able to write 5 methods, raise your hand. Now, some people has written the search method without this parameter. When you write the search method, how you will search the data? Is it possible? Is it possible to search the data? It is not possible to search the data, because if I want to search the data, I need to understand what filters are selected by the user. What filters selected by the user, we have to understand. For that, I'm taking search request object as a parameter. Now, I told you the requirement. I have given the document. I explained the requirement for multiple times. And I told you what methods I need. After giving these theoretical points also, you are not able to identify the methods. What to do? You understand what is your skill set now? What is your weak point? Coding is your weak point or analysis is your weak point? Analysis. For which scenario, which method we need to take, that is the difficult part here. For which scenario, which method we need to take, that is the difficult part. Now, I have removed the methods. Now look at the requirement. Take your pen and paper, write the methods. People who are not able to do it, write down the methods. You think and write it. Look at the requirement. You look at the requirement. This is my requirement. I want you to write the methods in the service layer. Just do it now. Create a interface. Public interface, report interface. What methods you need? Write it. 2 minutes. You should complete. Fast. Look at the screen and write the methods. You think and you write the methods. by looking at the screen. Look at the screen, right? Don't butify. Analyze and write it. भाई आपका हो गया? You have written all the methods. पक्का चेक कर सकते हैं. So total how many methods we need? 5 methods we need. One method to load the data for plan name drop down. One method to load the data for status drop down. One method to load the data for search criteria. One method to export the data to Excel. Another method to export the data to PDF. Got it? Yes. Completed? Now check it whether your methods are correct or not. Naming convention is also very important, guys. Method naming convention is also very important. Able to write it? Now what is the next step? We created now, you look at the diagram. Database side we are good, table is good, entity is good, repository is good, interface is also good. What is the next step? We need to create implementation for our service. Okay. I'm not going to implement all the methods in single shot, guys. We are going to implement one by one. Now, let us go here and create IMPL class for the service interface, right? So let me take this as report service IMPL. Report service IMPL. Which interface you want to implement? Add that interface here. I want to implement an interface called report service. Okay, finish. So with this, my service IMPL class is created with a dummy method. Here, to do nothing but our pending activity. Method is generated with the body, but nothing is there in the body. Now this is a normal Java class. How I need to represent this as a service class? By using @service annotation. It will be represented as a string bean. Now service will talk to controller or service will talk to repository. Service will talk to repository. So do I need to perform dependency injection? Yes, repository object should be injected to service object. Tell me how I need to do the dependency injection. Come on. Private report private report repository. Sorry, what is that? Private citizen plan repository. I'm plan repo. I'm doing the injection by using auto wiring. How many ways I can do the auto wiring? So total there are 3 ways in order to perform that auto wiring. Currently, I'm doing that way using field level. So with this, our service class is ready, but there is no logic available. There is no logic available. Now, who will call our service methods? Who will call the service methods? Controller. Do we have a controller or we don't have a controller? We don't have a controller. Can we create the controller now? Yes. Create new class with a name called report controller. Keep that in a separate package in.ashokid.controller. You observe my package naming convention. In.ashok IT is my base package, controller, entity, repository, request, runner, service. I'm following proper package naming convention. Now, this is a Java class. I want to represent this Java class as a controller class. How to represent this Java class as a controller class? By using @controller. By using @controller. Controller will talk to which method? Controller will talk to which method? Controller will talk to service method. Now, I need to inject service object here. Private report service service. How I am doing that? By using auto wiring. I'm using auto wiring. Fine. My controller is ready. Controller will talk to service. Service will talk to repository. Repository will talk to database. But in my project, there is another requirement. There is another requirement. I want to generate the Excel report and I want to send that report to the email. I want to send that report to the email. Now here, I'm creating 2 more classes here. Go to the package, new class, PDF generator. PDF generator in.ashokit.some util package. In the util package, I'm creating a class called PDF generator. Similarly, I need another class called Excel generator. I need another class called Excel generator. I need another class called email sender. Okay, I'm taking it as email utils. All right. Now, PDF generator, I have taken this as one class. Excel generator, I have taken one class. Email utils, I have taken one class. So total 3 utility classes also I have taken. Now observe, what are the classes? Citizen plan.java. What is this? Entity. For this entity, what I have created? Repository I have created. Then service I have created. Service is a interface. In that interface, what I have done? IMPL. For that interface, IMPL. I just created empty IMPL class, no logic available. Then I have created PDF generator.java. What is the purpose of PDF generator? It will contain the method to generate the PDF file. And what is Excel generator? It should contain the logic to generate the Excel. What is email util? It will send the email with the file we have generated. Then what is report controller? What is the report controller.java? Report controller.java contains the methods to handle the request and response. Search request.java, what is the purpose of that? Form binding. Search criteria will come from UI to controller. For that, I am taking search request.java. Then what is the data loader? It is a dummy to load the data into database table. And what is the pending? Index.jsp. I am going for JSP as a presentation technology. So I need to create my JSP page. SRC main web app. Some people are saying they are not getting the web app. can give any name for that folder, right? In that pages, I'm going to create one file. What is that file I want to create? JSP. JSP option coming or not coming? Not coming. Let us see how can we install that. In the Spring Toolsuit 3.9 version, JSP coming. In the 4.x version, JSP not coming. STS 4.x not displaying JSP. For this solution, for this JSP not found or visible problem, you have to install a small plugin. Go to Help, Eclipse Marketplace, search for JSP, Enterprise Java and Web Developer Tools, install that plugin. That is the fix. Is it working for you? No? Let's try this. Okay. Go to Help, Eclipse Marketplace. Let's search for that tool called JSP. Yeah. JSP, JEE Web Developer Tools. Java and Web Developer Tools available. Eclipse, Jetty, Java Bean, JBoss not required. Yeah. Eclipse Enterprise Java and Web Developer Tools is available. Let me click on install. It is installing that plugin in our IDE. After it got installed, we need to restart our IDE. Let us see, is it working or not? Guys, you see, whatever the problem I am having, I'm just searching in the Google. That is the most important thing for the developers. Yes, it is asking what are the tools that you want to install, web developer tools. Now, JSF tools, I don't need that. All the remaining stuff I don't need. They are suggesting what are the required things. Click on confirm. Now, it is trying to install all those tools in my STS. I accept the agreement, click on finish. After this, let me restart my IDE. It will restart. Okay, done. Now, let us go for SRC, main, web app, pages, right click, new, other. Now, JSP coming, not coming. Still it is installing. Okay, let me do it again. Enterprise and web developer tools not installed. Yeah, now it is trying to install it. Yeah, it will take some time. So meanwhile, you understand what is the structure that I have created for the project. It is just a dummy project I have created. There is no logic available. Dummy controller, dummy service I have created. Entity repository is available. We'll see that. Yeah, meanwhile, you people asked that question, sir, how to send database data to the drop down in the UI, right? So my table is having the data, select a distinct plan name. I'm getting the list of plans. I want to send list of plans to drop down. Okay. For that, we need to go for Spring Form Tag Library, which we have not discussed in the evening class. That I will explain in the today's class. What is Form Tag Library and how to display the table data in the drop down. For that, you can simply search here Spring MVC form tags. Spring MVC form tag library is available. Now, Spring MVC form tag library, view technologies, that official documentation, JSP and JSTL. Now, using that, what is this? Taglib. How we use JSTL core tag library in the JSP? Similarly, we need to add this Spring form tag library with this line. Once you have added this line, then you need to write the form like this: form colon input, form colon input. If you have a radio button, form colon radio button. If you have the checkboxes, form colon checkboxes. Like this, you can specify the form. If you want to display the checkboxes, you see here, what is the option? Checkboxes, items, list of checkboxes that you want to display. Whatever the list that you have, that list you need to display in the front end as a checkboxes: morning, evening, afternoon. And courses should come as a drop down. In this scenario, I want to go for password field like this. And if you want to use option drop down values, this is hard coded options value. I want to pass the options dynamically. Like this, you can pass the options dynamically. So here, completed documentation is available in the official documentation of the Spring, spring.io. How I am searching that? You see here, Spring MVC form tags. When I check that in the Google, I'm getting the second link as view technologies in the Spring Boot. When I click on that link, they're telling one of the areas in the Spring Excel, separation of the view technologies from the rest of the MVC framework. Your controllers are loosely coupled with the view technology. In that view technology, you can use JSP and JSTL. Whenever we are using JSP for the view technology, to use the form tag library, you need to write this in the JSP page. After that, you can develop a form like this: form colon form, form colon input, form colon input. Similarly, form colon radio button, form colon checkboxes, form colon option, form colon input text. Like that, we can give multiple values. Now I want to display checkboxes with a dynamic value. I have a list. I retrieved that list from the database. That list I need to pass as a items. So whatever the values are there in the list, those values will be displayed in the drop down. We will do that. Okay, good. Now restart the tool to apply the software update. Restart now. My IDE is getting restarted. Let us see what will happen. Yeah. IDE restarted. Let us check it. Are we getting that JSP option? New, other. I don't think so. Huh. Now, I'm getting this JSP file. Click on next. I'm keeping the file name as index.jsp. Click on next and click on finish. So with this, we are able to get the JSP file in our tool suite. What I have done for that? I have installed one software. How I have installed that software? Go to help, Eclipse Marketplace. In the Eclipse Marketplace, I'm searching with a keyword called JSP. Simply let me search with a keyword called JSP. When you type JSP and click on enter, you will get the second option. You have to install that. It is taking 5 to 10 minutes of time. You wait for that. Once installation completed, it will ask for the restart. Once you restart, then we are good. We can go with that. So type JSP. There is an option called Go. When you search for that, it is saying Eclipse Enterprise Java and Web Developer Tools. In my IDE, already these are installed. 23,000 people installed in the last month. They are displaying the count also, right? You need to install this Eclipse Enterprise Java Web Developer Tools. My tool got installed. I'm able to create the JSP. Now here, I'm giving simple H2. If you want to use Bootstrap, can we use Bootstrap for this? How to use Bootstrap? Get to bootstrap.com. There is a website. Getbootstrap.com is available. Go to Get Bootstrap. In that, docs will be available. Quick start will be available. To use the Bootstrap, let us take this. In the head tag, I need to configure this meta. Let me copy this. Let me keep that here. In the head tag, I need to configure meta and link here. Take this, go to this. In the head tag, meta is available, title is available. Let me configure Bootstrap title. Okay, fine. Once it is done, then I need to configure JSP. JS script tag will be there to configure our Bootstrap JS. So I configured Bootstrap link and Bootstrap script also in my JSP file. Okay, in this, let me give H3 report application. I'm giving my report just a text I have given. I have created that in the pages folder index.jsp. Pages folder index.jsp. Now for this, I need to configure view resolver. Where we will configure the view resolver? In the application.properties file. Currently, data source properties are available. I want to configure my view resolver. How to configure view resolver? Come on. Spring.mvc.view.prefix / pages I have given. Spring.mvc.view.suffix.jsp. I'm configuring my view resolver. Now, so with this, my project is created. All the classes are ready. Just a project skeleton completed. With this, whole project is completed or only structure completed? Structure completed, coding is not there. Okay. Now go to here. Let us run our application and see index page is loading or not. Run as boot application. Run as boot application. Check the console. Application started. Records are inserted. Go to browser. Now in this browser, let me access localhost :8080. So index page is coming or not coming? So index page is not coming. 8080 it is not coming. What could be the issue? Check this. No need of that, right? In the controller, report controller, methods are not available. Okay. Now go to the src main web app pages index.jsp. Okay, fine. Let me do one thing. Public string index page. I will simply return index. I will make it as a get mapping /URL pattern. Get mapping with a /URL pattern. All right. Yes. Now let me stop my application. Now refresh, run as boot application. Yes. Now go to browser, localhost :8080. Page is downloaded. Why the page is downloaded? Jasper dependency available or not available? Check it. Check it. Tomcat embed Jasper available or not available? Not available. So can I add the dependency now? Yes, go here, mvnrepository.com, Tomcat embed Jasper. Click on that. Go to the Jasper, take the dependency, copy that and go to our pom.xml, starter Tomcat. After this, I'm adding embed Jasper. Remove the version. Right. After adding the dependency, we need to stop and start the application. Okay. Right click, refresh, run as boot application. Clear the console. Good. Now go to this localhost colon 8080. Now are we able to get the report application? Yes, we are able to get the report application. Now here it is taking full width, guys. It is taking a full width. In the bootstrap, what we can do, if I don't want to take the full width, I want to give some margin. In order to give that margin, now I can go for div class is equal to container. I will go for div class is equal to container. Now when I go for div class is equal to container, you see that coming, so it is giving some margin. Now it will become responsive application. Now it is becoming a responsive application. See, when I'm expanding that, the gap, the margin, whatever is there, now that is reducing. When I'm going for full screen, now the margin is increasing for the desktop. When I change the size of the browser, then what is happening? The margin is reducing. That is called bootstrap container. That is called bootstrap container. How I am using bootstrap in my project? I have added bootstrap CSS and I have added bootstrap JavaScript. Okay. I learned to bootstrap in 2 hours from this website. I learned the bootstrap in 2 hours from this website, getbootstrap.com. If you want to add the bootstrap, this is a quick start. Create an index file, and if you want to include bootstrap in your HTML or JSP, you need to add bootstrap CSS and bootstrap JS. Once you add that, then you can go for bootstrap. In the bootstrap, the main thing in the bootstrap is container. So we are going to specify container in the bootstrap. There are 2 types of containers we can specify in the bootstrap. One is a normal container, another one is container fluid. One is a normal container, another one is container fluid. What is the difference? When you go for container fluid, it will take very less margin. Container fluid will take very less margin. If I give the only div container, it will give more margin for our page. Now I'm getting more margin per page. I have add, seriously guys, this daily I'm getting 20 to 30 calls. Do you want to take credit card? Do you want to take personal loan? Do you want to take home loan? This is a torture literally. If we need the loan, we will only go to the bank, right? Why those people need to torture us? The problem is we are taking SIM cards, right? We will take the SIM card from Airtel or telephone or whatever it is. These people will sell our data to the bank consultancies. There are some BPO companies are available. Those BPO companies will purchase our data from the cell companies. Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, Idea. They will sell our data to these BPO companies. Those BPO companies will get the deal from the banks. If we sell your credit card for 100 customers, how much you will pay? For every card they will sell, bank will give 500 rupees or 1000 rupees for the BPO company. So BPO company, what they will do? They will recruit 100 ladies. They will set up a call center. They will give today 100 numbers. If you sell, I'm giving the 100 contact numbers for you. In these 100 contact numbers, at least if you sell to 10 customers, 10 into 50, 500 rupees incentives we will give you apart from your salary. So salary 20,000 will be available and per customer incentive will be available. So from morning to till night, what is their duty? type the number called, sir, do you want loan? Do you want loan? If I accept the loan, then they will get the benefit. If I accept the loan, they will get the benefit. That's why daily 20 to 30 calls we are getting. Fine. So with this, we have started our application basic setup. So in my application, I'm using Bootstrap. See the beauty here. In the Bootstrap, I want to display one button. Okay, guys. Button class is equal to button and button primary. For the button, text I want to give as a search. Now refresh. What happened now? So that button is coming with a beautiful color. Suppose if I want to give the button as a red, then I need to go for a danger. Button danger. If I give it as a danger, the red color buttons are coming. So you don't need to worry much about the styles by writing lot of CSS. Ready-made CSS classes are available in the Bootstrap. By using those Bootstrap, we can design our pages with some styles. Got it? Sorry? Large button, yeah, BTN small, BTN LG, BTN medium, extra large, like this. The buttons will change, right? So last 2 days I spent on the Bootstrap website. I have learned some concepts in the Bootstrap now. Because I'm weak in the UI part, guys. I'm not much good in the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. I'm not clear with that, but I have spent 2 hours on this website. What is that website? Getbootstrap.com. I have gone to some document. Here examples are available. For example, if you want to display menu in your project, very simple. You go here, nav bar will be available. You take this nav bar, you just copy this code and you paste this code. Then you will get a nav bar in your project. Okay. So I want to, for example, I want a nav bar in my project. I will take this, I will go here and I will keep nav bar. That's it. Copy paste. Now I'm getting the navigation bar. I'm getting the options like this. See the beauty. Do I need to write anything for that? What I have done? Just I have done copy paste. Now you see, when I am keeping 100% width, when I'm keeping 100% width, I'm getting home, link, drop down menus are coming. Nav bar is disabled. Search button is available. Search option is available. Suppose if I decrease the size, then if I go for mobile width, then what will happen? If I go to desktop window, the nav bar will come on the top of the page. Now you see nav bar is coming on top of the page. When I'm decreasing my window size, nav bar is going to side. That is called responsive website. So to make our websites responsive, we can go for Bootstrap. Got it? So button colors I want. Bootstrap classes are available. You see the responsiveness. When I'm decreasing my window size, where the nav bar is coming? Side. So here nav bar coming with 3 icons. If I maximize size, that 3 symbols are gone and the nav bar is coming like this. I want to give some options for that. Menu icons are also available. I want to display some image there. We can display our logo also in the website. Got it? Good. Fine. So with this, suppose for example, if you go to our website, is it responsive? Yes or no? Is our website is responsive or not? If I click on this, where the menu is coming? On the top. Suppose if I minimize the screen, menu coming in the side. So this website is a responsive website. Similarly, now see, whatever the web page I have created, if I minimize, where the menu coming? Side, responsive. If I maximize, on the top. So this is a responsive website. How we are making our website as responsive? By using Bootstrap. By using Bootstrap. Let me remove this now. I don't need that now. Yep, I removed it. Just I have added Bootstrap link here in the head section. And whenever we are adding Bootstrap, this meta tag is very important. If you add this meta tag, then only responsiveness will be available. Otherwise, it will not be available. So here I'm using one URL, that is bootstrap min.css, and I'm having one JavaScript file, that is bootstrap bundle.min.js. So this is the CDN that I'm using, content delivery network. For my web page, I want to get the Bootstrap CSS and Bootstrap JavaScript. You can do that in two ways. One is you can download those files and you can keep in the project and you can refer those files, or else directly you can get from the CDN. I'm directly getting from the CDN. How I am getting from the CDN? So go to Bootstrap website, get bootstrap.com. Bootstrap 5 we are using now. In the Bootstrap 5, if you go to introduction, what they are saying, get started with the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a powerful feature packed front-end toolkit. Build anything from prototype to production in minutes of time. I want to start the Bootstrap in my project. What you do is, you take this head section, you take this body section, just you copy this. Take the head part and body part, go to your JSP. Currently assume that in my JSP, head is not available, body is not available. Now, whatever I am copying from the Bootstrap introduction page, Bootstrap intro docs, in this include Bootstrap CSS and JS. Take the head part and body part. Copy the head part and body part. Go to our HTML tag, paste it. With this, Bootstrap is added for our web page. In this web page body, I want to display one message. For example, I am going for report application. See how it is displaying. Report application, refresh. How it is displaying? Normally it is displaying. Now, what I want to do is, I want to give some margin for my message. I want to give some margin for my message. How to give the margin for a message? To give the margin for a message, we need to go for div class. Container fluid. What is the difference between container and container fluid? Container will give some margin, fluid will give very narrow margin. So am I getting some margin now? Yes, I'm getting that margin. If I give the class name, that margin is also responsive margin. What is the meaning of responsive margin? It will adjust according to the screen size. Adjust according to the screen size. Now, my web page is responsive web page. My web page is responsive web page. Now, with this, our project skeleton got completed, guys. Project skeleton got completed. So what we have done as of now, can we identify what are the steps I have done now? What are the steps I have done? Create starter project with required dependencies. Create starter project with required dependencies. Then second step, configure data source and view resolver properties. Configure data source and view resolver properties. Then I have create entity class and repository interface. Entity class and repository interface. Then after I have create runner to load data into DB table. Now, what are the steps that I have completed? Create starter project with required dependencies, configure data source and view resolver in properties file. Then create an entity class and repository interface. Create a runner to load the data into database table. Then after, what I have done? Create service interface with abstract methods. Create service interface with abstract methods. After that, what I have done? Before that, we need to create search request, create form binding class. What is our form binding class? Search request. Once the form binding class is created, create service interface with abstract methods. After that, what I have done? Create service IMPL class. No logic available. Did I implement any logic? No, I did not implement any logic. Just I have created dummy service IMPL. No logic is available. Got it? Then next one, After service is completed, then create controller class. Create controller class. After the controller class, then I have completed create view page. Create view page and add bootstrap CSS and JS. Create view page and add bootstrap CSS and JS. Why bootstrap? To beautify our application. Then I have run the application and access welcome page. Run the application and access my welcome page. So how I am returning the welcome page? Just I am writing a dummy method. In the dummy method, I am writing return index. What is the meaning of return index? Index page will be loaded. What is there in the index page now? Just one welcome message is available. In this index page, just one welcome message is available. I'm using bootstrap classes to display my page. Now I want to display one form in the welcome page. I want to display one form. So now that form we can develop with the bootstrap also. Bootstrap form control also we can access. For example, to add the form by using bootstrap, go to getbootstrap.com, docs, come down. There is a form. Form control is available. What type of form you want to add? You can add like this. Different styles they have given for the form. Do you want to add the form with some labels like this? Do you want to add a form with some validations like this? Do you want to add the form like this? And do you want to add a form with some icons? Like that, there are multiple form input types are available. Okay, multiple form types available here. You can take that from this bootstrap website. I have seen different types of forms in the bootstrap. Form control, select, checkbox, radio buttons, input, email ID, password fields are available like this. Disabled form fields are available. Drop downs are available in the form. They have given some CSS here in order to display that form. I want a form, email, password, something like this. But in our screen, what type of form we need? Drop downs and input fields are available. Okay. First, let me take one form field, radio button. Okay. Checkboxes, checks and radios are available. I want a radio button. By using this bootstrap, we can take this radio button. Okay. So default radio, checked radio, something like this. Copy this. I want to display radio button in my form. Now I'm adding like this. Form radio. Now I want the radio for gender, male and female. Now go to our page. Now, am I able to get the radio buttons here? Yes. Alignment is disturbed. This div I need to keep at the end so that it will be aligned properly. Report application, gender is coming here. Now, I want to give you a button for that. How to give you a button? Then we will give button class is equal to button primary, button primary. Then I will write the button text as search. Now refresh. Like this, I'm getting a radio button with the button as a search button. But currently, any action available? No action. That we will do later point of time. Now, good. Remove this. This is just our welcome page, which is having one message, report application. So these are the steps that I have created. Run the application and access the welcome page. This is our project setup. I can say this is our project setup. Project skeleton setup, guys. Not complete project. Just we created structure of our project. Now, I want everyone to complete this setup before coming to tomorrow's class. So today evening is very important. We are going to understand form tag library. How to develop the forms by using Spring Web MVC. To develop our logic tomorrow, today evening class concept is required. In the today evening, we will discuss form tag library. With that knowledge, tomorrow we will start developing our application. Are you clear? So Spring Boot knowledge is mandatory to develop the projects. So in the JRTP, I can't explain you what is form tag library, what is the starter class, what is data JPA. Those topics we will learn in the Spring Boot classes. We will use those topics in the JRTP to develop the project with the theoretical knowledge. Are you getting? Good. Any questions in the project setup? Now simple. Can you butify this setup? No. Why? Tomorrow, when I go for second mini project, what will be there? Will it be like this or it will be different? It will be different. Okay. So the thing is, for the developer, that self-confidence is very important. Yes, I can do it on my own. So till 2 days before, I don't know what is Bootstrap. To be frank, I don't know what is Bootstrap. So here, in previous JRTP batches also, I never used Bootstrap. We used it to develop plain web pages. But 2 days back, I got the interest that I want to see what is that Bootstrap, how to add it. Within 2 hours, I'm able to understand what is Bootstrap. Now I can develop the web pages with the Bootstrap. So that is called quick learning. Self-learning is most important. Self-learning is most important. So everything is available in the internet. The thing is, you need to have that interest to learn. That is the only important part. So you should not say that, sir, that faculty did not explain Bootstrap. We are not able to understand. Who explained Bootstrap to me? Nobody. So that is my interest. When you have your interest, you can learn that concept. So you need to change your mindset. Change your mindset. If a faculty not explain, you have not studied. Okay. Tomorrow you go for the company, they will give you a task, design a web page with the Bootstrap. Can you tell in the Ashok IT UI trainer did not explain Bootstrap for me? Can you tell to your manager that? What you need to do? You need to learn on your own. When you have the capability to learn the things on your own, then you will become number one in your job or in your team. Self-learning is the most important part. Right. Don't ask me to teach Bootstrap. Okay. I'm also a beginner in that. Right. Yeah. So here, project setup, project structure setup I have completed. Create the project starter with the required dependencies and configure data source and view resolver properties in the resolver in properties file. What is the properties file name? Application.properties. Then create entity class and repository interface. Create the runner to load the data into database table. Create the form binding class. Create the service interface with abstract methods. What methods we need to write? You have already identified that. And we created dummy IMPL class. Currently, no logic available in that. And I created a controller class. And I created a view page and I added Bootstrap and CSS.js. How to add the Bootstrap and CSS here? www.getbootstrap.com. If you go to that, there will be a page called docs page. In the docs page, quick start. Here, they are giving the information. Take the head part, take the body part. In the head part, link will represent CSS URL. Then this script will represent JavaScript URL. I have added both in my web page. After adding them in my web page, I have created one div and I have given a class called container. What is the meaning of container class? Margin. So broad margin will be available when you go for a container. If you want to narrow margin, fluid. So that will give less margin. That also responsive. What is the meaning of responsive? Based on the device you are using, your web page will be adjusted. If you go for mobile, according to mobile screen, it will display. If you go for laptop, according to laptop screen. If you go for desktop, according to desktop screen. So to make our websites responsive, we need to go for Bootstrap. So when Bootstrap was not there, people used it to develop two applications. One application for the desktop, one application for the mobile. Okay. But nowadays, single application compatible with all the devices. Got it? Yes. Fine. So with this, we are able to complete our project setup. I want you people to do this setup today so that tomorrow we are going to practice our coding part. We need to start the coding part. And today, setup completion. After that, can you start service IMPL creation? If I write the code, you will not learn anything. Once again, I'm telling you. I want you to try that first. Right. Today you try that. Tomorrow I will do that. Then you can compare my logic and your logic. Let me give this in the material. Where is that? Any project.pdf. Project setup. Guys, which is easy? Spring Boot is easy or JRTP is easy? Spring Boot is easy. After project is started, what is the difference you observed? What you learnt from the last two classes? No time to sleep, huh? If you want, I can do one thing. I can stop the JRTP class for tomorrow so that you can start service layer implementation on your own. If you want that, tomorrow I will not teach any concept. I will come to the class, but I will clarify any doubts if you have, so that you will get one day time to try developing the service layer on your own. If I start that within 1 hour, it will complete. That is not important. But whether you are able to do it or not, that is the important part. So you guys decide. If you want me to teach the service layer implementation, I will do it tomorrow. Or else tomorrow I will cancel the JRTP class so that you will get the time to implement service layer required for the project. Now you know the methods also. What is the logic you need to write, that you need to implement that. Can you try that? Or you want me to teach directly? What is your opinion? If I am giving the time, definitely you have to complete and you have to show me that assignment. I want to see everybody project structure in the GitHub repository. Whatever the project structure I have created, I want you also to create the project structure and push to the GitHub repository. And here, few more classes I have created. Project setup, service IMPL, controller class. Then I have created create utility classes. What are the utility classes? PDF generator, Excel generator, and email utils. So you need to create the utility classes and you need to push your project into GitHub repository. Run the application and access welcome page. What is the next step? Create, get repo and push project into Git repository. Create Git repo and push the project into Git repository. So every day, whatever the code you write, you push that code into your GitHub repository. So what is the advantage? You are doing the project and you are practicing the Git tool also. So today, complete the project setup. Just basic structure, packages, classes I have created. Create the project, push that code into GitHub repository. So today evening Spring Boot class, you will understand form tag library. Then I want you to start writing service class implementation tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I will not take any class. I will come to institute for your doubts clarification. For Zoom meeting, I will start. Online people, you can also ask your doubts in the tomorrow doubts class. After doubts completed, I want you to try developing the service layer on your own. Got it? So if you are able to do, excellent. If you are not able to do, day after tomorrow, I will explain that. So that first I'm giving the chance for you to think how to write. Here we have a method already. That method, what it is doing, get plan names. How to get the plan names from that repository. How to get the plan status. How to implement search functionality. How to export the Excel. How to export the PDF. You should try to write the logic on your own. If you are able to write it on your own, then excellent. If you are not able to write it, when I explain, you will understand that. But trying is the most important part, guys. Why we should try? Sir will explain day after tomorrow. Sir will explain within 1 hour coding will complete. But what you will learn? Nothing. If you try, you will face some problem. What is the problem you are facing? Why I am not facing that problem? You will understand. Always you need to compare your code with my code. Then you will realize what is your weak point, where you need to improve your skill set. Clear, guys? Are you okay for that? Yes, fine. Good. Any doubts, anyone? Any doubts, anyone? Are you clear with the setup of our project skeleton? Yes, I will upload this document. Let me go to our website. Hey guys, document is uploaded to the portal with the project setup steps also I have given in the document. Follow these steps and complete your setup. Okay. Thank you. We'll meet in the evening class. Spring Boot. Thank you guys.